Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Hello, my name is Mike, and today's show is brought to you by our Amazon page. Please remember to shop at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon. It's quite simply the best way to support this show. If you need it, Amazon has it, and you can get it at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon. Bookmark it, please.
Available on demand every day in iTunes and the Google Play Store, and around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you? It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
We are joined today on the Mike O'Mara Show by Patton Oswalt. Let's give Patton Oswalt. I have followed his career for a very, very long time, and really such a wonderfully nice person, and so happy that he was able to come by and be with us today. And I know that Patton likes to make fun of disc jockeys.
What?
So I thought the best way to start the show today, because we play this once in a while, we're going to play DJ on the show today, where we get to talk up the records. And I know when I told you that this morning, Rob, you were excited about it.
Oh, like shot out of a cannon. Are you kidding me?
Now, it's wild stuff. I hold in my hand a list of 20 topics here.
20 topics.
Now, I could give this to anybody. I mean, anybody can read off of this.
All right. I think you should assign the topic.
Should I assign the topic? I could go in order.
Yeah. I think that's fine.
And, we don't have to, draw it out of a hat or anything. And, we could just get started.
All right.
So,
Do you want to go first?
No, I don't want to go first.
All right, guys, should we
Excuse me, Patton?
What?
What did you say there?
I'm a little excited. I just want to kick the party off.
Okay, let's kick the party. Let's start with Patton. All right, you know what? I'm going to give you topic number one.
Okay, here we go.
Now, Rob, explain to him that we don't just go right into the record. We actually play the jingle into the record.
There will be a jingle into the Rolling Stones for you.
So there's a jingle.
Then a record.
Do I talk up the instrumental opening too?
Yeah, you do. You talk it up. You hit the post.
So this is a double ramp in the post challenge right here. That's exactly where it shows.
You're going to have to try real hard not to talk over the singer.
Okay, here we go.
Now, as a matter of fact, when you hit the jingle, before we hit the jingle, I'll give Patton his topic.
Topic number one.
Is this topicality? The topic number one is air disasters. Hit it, Rob. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. Well, speaking of air disasters, what about the time that the Stones were down at that chateau in France and somebody got a little contact high off of Keith Richards' exhale? I think that's a bigger air disaster right now. Here we go.
Oh, wow. Jeez. Wow.
That's called ramping it to post.
Out of the car.
Thank you.
Oh,
out of the car.
I'm nervous now.
Rob, would you like to go second?
I will go second, sure.
All right, ready? Are you ready?
Sure, absolutely. What's my top?
Topic number two, Pope Francis. Rob Spiewak, take it away.
Hey, I want to tell you something about that Pope. He's wild and he's wacky and he accepts everybody. You know what? It doesn't matter if you're gay or straight or anything. Just come on by. As a matter of fact, try on his big hat.
Well, you went uptown riding in your...
All right, Rob, I'll hand it over to you.
Okay, very good.
And make sure it's a good one.
All right, bad.
All right. Wow, Mike, I didn't realize he was still trending.
It doesn't have to be in order. You can pick any one you want.
I want you to do this one, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, to talk up Chicago, here's Mike O'Mara to talk about Simon Cowell.
Always a fan of a guy with bigger breasts than me. Mike O'Mara with you on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Boy, I've never been on American Idol. I'd sure like to be, but he's not there anymore. But he's a wonderful guy. He's British. He's mean. What's not to like? How you doing, everybody? In just about 15 minutes, your chance to win a chance at the Power Porsche from WAVA. I'll take your phone calls at 432-SUCK. That's 432-SUCK. Good luck, everybody.
Yeah. Wow.
Let's see. Went to the crutch, though, right to the radio promotion.
No, but you killed it.
Went right to the radio promotion. I should have had material
Everybody
right up
wants
to the
the
beginning.
Power Porsche.
Exactly.
And it's a long intro. You have to really plug the stuff.
That's
Rob,
long.
I'm going to defer to Patton.
No,
You guys are having such a great time.
No. Oh, no. You don't get out of this. Let me see the topics.
Okay, here we go.
All right,
I'm
here
the
we go.
worst.
Let me pick a
No,
topic
I think you'll like this.
that you will know nothing
Everybody's
about.
gonna root against
I'm
me.
going to make it as easy as possible.
Oh, please.
Because this is
Are you going to
good
give me
for
a
you.
flan?
No, this is a flan.
Yeah, flan is my topic.
Flan.
And I don't even think that's it's flan, isn't it?
It's flan.
Flan.
What?
Motherland.
All right, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, take it away. Oscar Santana, Peruvian chicken.
Oh,
Go ahead.
delicious with the sounds of Orleans.
Peruvian chicken.
Listen and learn. Learn and listen. The facts are fun on WWDC.
Ay, 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 ay! Hey, are you into crisp and juicy chicken? I'm in too. Make sure you get that hot sauce. They'll charge you 50 cents, but A-okay. Well worth it. Make sure you also get the panettone right next door. It's Bolivian bread, you know.
For you? Very, very, very good.
Put that on your tape.
All right, here we go. Keep them coming.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Patton, your next topic. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Patton Oswalt.
What's the next topic?
The Russians are coming. Let them go. Let them go, Rob.
Here come
Go
the
ahead.
Russians.
Yeah, the Russians are coming.
Best music on WAVA.
Sorry, I just came rushing in from the bathroom right now. And speaking of Russians, how about that Putin, folks? Sounds like a nickname for the ladies' nether regions. But hey, let's not get into that. I don't want any FCC fines.
Man! And he's hitting post!
Oh, my God.
Man. I'm humbled.
If
I am
Top
so
40
incredibly humbled.
If Top 40 existed, still, he'd have a backup career.
Oh, God.
All right, here you go. Rob, should I give you one?
Give me one, please.
All right, here we go. Rob Spiewak.
Yes.
Topic near and dear to your heart. Years ago, though, babies. Take it away.
Babies, of
Absolute
course.
Babies. We all love babies.
AM 63, the #1 voice in Washington.
Hey, you know how to tell you a little something about the little ones. You know what? The babies, the little ankle biters, the ones that are all around. And, you know, I was talking to my father the other day, and I said, you know, sorry that you guys got divorced, you and Mom. He said, that's okay. You didn't split us up, but you're sure the reason that we got married.
I'll hand it to you. Go ahead. Pick one for me.
All right.
Or you can make one up. That's what makes it fun, too.
Oh, no, I think I want a mic with the sounds of the knack. Since
I'm getting bored, though.
I understand.
All right, let's go.
It's the knack, Mike. Tell me about the tough winter we've had.
60s on 6.
Your AccuWeather and Tide timetable is brought to you by your official Chesapeake Bay Yacht Club's Association station. That's right, cold weather. It's going to be here for a couple of more days, 60s by the weekend. But hey, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the fact that I found a lump. I'm not going to tell you where it is. If you can guess where I found a lump on my body, we'll give you a chance to win coming up in 15 minutes. Wow. All right. Yeah, there we go. And Patton will let you wrap it up. We'll just, Oscar, would you like to?
I like to defer to Pat.
Would you like to defer
What
to
a
Patton?
horrible thing to be good at.
All right.
I know, isn't it?
I know.
Truly horrible thing to be good at.
I know. Welcome to my world.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, we have Obamacare, pot legalization, illegal immigration, the tough winter, Aaron Sorkin, fat people, Tea Party Republicans, the Final Four, low testosterone, burgers and fries, West Virginia, Crimea, and Tig Notaro.
You know what? Let's do Tig Notaro.
Tig Notaro, Patton Oswalt, take it away, baby, and then we'll get to the show.
Jackson 5.
Casey's Top 40.
Yes, that's right, folks. We're here on the station WTRT, The Turtle. And if you guys come out of your shell, we're going to be giving away tickets to Tig Notaro's Crullapalooza coming up April 1st at the Wiltern in Los Angeles. It supports a great cause, and so call on in. Here's a Jackson 5. He's a molester.
I love it. Good job. Good way to start the show. Let's really start it.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Let's get down to business.
From the entertainment capital of the world.
Oh, Tommy, thank you.
Yeah, what's your bread?
Thank you. Here, blow up these balloons.
Okay.
You ate the Oni! Well!
Let me think. Okay, look, okay. Go over to Sutter's, get another piece of cake. Something, anything. Maybe there's an ice cream cake. Something with happy birthday already.
Don't give him
written
any money!
All right, come on.
Oh, pay for
Let's
yourself!
I got it. What are you going to do with that cake?
This
Okay, over. Hey.
Chubby Checkers is a group of fat people. We discuss our fatness. And the best part of it is they give you people to help you. A checker. A chubby checker, get it?
Maybe you could be my checker.
Oh, no. A man has to have a man checker and a woman checker. You'd be surprised where people wind up eating when they're on a binge.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Once they found this lady passed out in a subway toilet with the bones of 6 chickens around her.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. Mike O'Mara, Rob Spiewak, Oscar Santana. And now, here's Mike.
We are live from the Fiberplex Studios. This is the Mike O'Mara Show, broadcasting all over the planet. We're powered by Encore Insurance Services. With over 23 million downloads, we're at MikeO'MaraShow.com, and we are heard over the air. We have a radio station. Patton Oswalt, can you guess what state that radio station is in?
I'm sorry. I was talking to Rob before, and he told me.
Iowa!
Bustling.
Yes, sir.
Bustling Iowa.
You know what that word is? Lucky. It's the mighty 1630 KCJJ in the heart of the heartland. Go Hawks.
Hi, Tommy Lang.
The Mike O'Mara Show is a daily radio show and podcast with the greatest listeners in the world. Why? Because they get it. Our show today is brought to you by Personal Capital. Let's talk about something that's important to everybody. It's money. You want to keep your personal wealth, but it's a major hassle to keep track of it by yourself. If you pay someone to manage it for you, you're probably paying too much. Luckily, I've got your solution. It's a free and secure tool called Personal Capital. Personal Capital allows you to keep track of your bank accounts and your stocks and your 401k, everything, all of your accounts and assets on a single screen. Whether you use your computer, your phone, or your tablet, it's all right there on one screen with real-time and intuitive graphs. Personal Capital also shows you how much you're overpaying in fees and how much you can reduce those fees. Even better, with Personal Capital, you get tailored advice on how to optimize your investment. Signing up takes about a minute, and it will pay you huge dividends. So why wait? Personal Capital gives you the clarity and transparency you need to make better investments decisions right now. Set up your free account. Go to personalcapital.com/TMOS. Personal Capital is free, and it's the smart way to grow your money. Go to personalcapital.com/TMOS. That's personalcapital.com/TMOS. Well, we are really, really excited. We are thrilled to welcome Patton Oswalt, actor, comedian, script doctor. That's my favorite right there. Yeah. And really, I've been dying to get you on this version of the show for a very, very long time. So excited that I even went out to your screening of The Secret Life of Walter Mitty and had what really, in 54 years on this planet, is officially the single most embarrassing moment I've ever had in a theater, and I include when I've been up on stage. It was mortifying.
What happened?
And, you were, now, first question for you. When you had your screening out at the Alamo.
Yes.
Were you back in, like, a room waiting to come out for your Q&A after, or did you come out for the screening or any part of the screening?
I came out, I was there at the very beginning. I brought my folks.
Right.
And my brother was with me. I was just hanging out off to the side, and I watched like the last 20 minutes and then came out.
Well, you had a lot of people that you have to take care of when you come back, because this is Patton's hometown. So Patton has a lot of friends that he brings by.
I gotta take care of, like I'm Henry Hill. Hey, we're gonna sit you up front in a minute, all right? Don't you work every time, you two? No, it's not.
What are you doing back here? Come on, Karen. Karen. Anyway, so I get there. Patton sends me a message and says I'm having a screening, and he's gracious enough to invite fat old me to come out to his screening. And it's late, though. It's late in the day, and I got to deal with the traffic. And I want to think the screening started at 7 o'clock, and I got there at 7:15, late for a screening. Anyway, this type of screening, you don't want to be late.
And you hate being late anyway.
I hate being late. I'm talking about elevated heart rate. I'm talking about the whole thing. And I am clueless about the Alamo Cinema franchise. I got no idea about their rules, which incidentally,
stringent.
If I'm sitting in the theater 45 minutes before the movie starts, I'm all for their rules. Arriving at 7:15 and walking in there with their rules, I had no idea about the whole cell phone thing. Sure. So I blast in with the sweat on my brow. And there's a scene in the film with Kristen Wiig and Ben Stiller that's probably, if you measured the decibel levels in the entire screening, that would be the low point. Right. That's where, and I'm going, I'm here for the screening. I want to know what's going on with that. I'm not, and none of the ushers know what the F is going on.
At this point, can you hear yourself breathing?
I've never, at this point, this is before any of the real bad stuff happened.
Yeah. This is really the best part of the night.
This is as good as it gone.
So you sound like Bane at this point.
Yes, where's the thing? Get me my Bane thing. All right, here we go. Yes, sir.
I'm a tad tardy. I was wondering if I could go to the screening with Patton Oswalt. He doesn't know how to pick me out of a lineup, but I have claimed him as a personal friend for years and years.
So I go in, and at this point, the guy points to the front row of the draft house. Is it the Alamo Drafthouse?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Great
and he
theater.
points to the front row, and in the front row, there are probably 5 empty slots with, I guess,
A reserved.
reserved on the. And they're
Do they all say Mike O'Mara on them, all 5?
it says
Disc jockey.
And the guy says, go over there. Now immediately I process. There's a bar, and I'm going to have to kind of duck under it. I'm certainly not going to walk by people in the middle of the movie. I'm already just embarrassed.
Right.
And nobody cares. They're looking at the screen. They're waiting for Patton to come on screen.
They're enraptured by me.
They're enraptured. They're waiting for you.
How do you take your eyes off of this? 40 feet tall, the Alamo.
There he is. There he is. And as I walk in, the phone rings. And just like it just did then.
Yeah.
Because I'm late here
You
today.
neglected to silence it.
I didn't silence it, just like I didn't silence it for the show. So I go in, and it's ringing.
And his ringtone is Pat Benatar's Invincible. So it's really even more.
I go in, and it's ringing. And then I go into the old man shuffle with the phone, where as opposed to just reaching over to the side of the phone and turning it off, I go into this shaky, twitchy, and I am standing at front row center of your screening.
Turn off your jitterbug, Grandpa.
So true.
And it goes on, and then let's make it a little worse. I drop it.
Of course you
drop
do.
it. And here's the cool thing: the people, your wonderful group of people in those. It was same. Nobody said a word. I didn't even hear. I don't think I even heard one of those frustrating, first class on an airplane exhales that you get. Oh God! Have the fat man sit down. And I told it was great material, but it's the kind of
You got escorted out.
That's the only the guy. Then the little. I'm sorry, the little shit comes over to me.
Hey.
Now what are you doing?
And he says, I'm sorry, sir. You can't have a cell phone in here. We're going to have to take that for you. I don't know the rules. I haven't read the book. I don't know what's going on.
You know what occurred to me
he
since you've
confiscates
told
my cell phone.
Since you've told this story, the complaints are actually filed by people writing a piece of paper and putting it for the usher to grab. So someone did rat you out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Look,
I didn't.
Wasn't
I
you,
don't-
Patton?
I'm
was
sorry.
it a good movie? Because I didn't see it. I
I'm
sat in my chair with my mind just going.
Fuming. Yeah.
Yes.
It was. I thought it was a pretty terrific movie. Beyond me being in it, I thought it was great. Look, I understand what you went through, and I'm sorry. I do like. Boy, could I have been less sincere?
Can you drip with any more insincerity, Oswald?
All right. Sorry. That's it. That's my go-to.
But I love the fact that the people that run the Alamo, and I've been to the one in Austin, now the one out here, they are film fanatics, and they are people who have spent years going to see films in theaters and have seen all of the. So yes, they are very oversensitive to it.
Oh, absolutely.
But it comes from all the times when they've been in theaters where people have, and this happened to me too. I've been in theaters where people have gotten you fumbled to turn yours off, which puts you leagues above the people that I've been in theaters with. They just take the call. They just take calls for talking.
Yeah, and it's insane, and it shouldn't be done. And I love the way.
Yeah.
And they do it in a way that
I wish-
many other chains don't do, where they kind of insult your intelligence. They hit it home. They hammer it to you.
I wish you'd gotten there early, and that's my fault for letting you know about it so last minute. Because it was a very last minute thing they put together. But they made a bunch of really funny films about talking and texting in theater, including one where they do a word thing of they got a voicemail message of this drunk girl that was thrown out, and it was the classic I got thrown out for no reason, when clearly, if you've been thrown out of a place, you got thrown out for a really good.
Yeah.
And she's calling in, this is the United States America, and this is a First Amendment freedom of speech, and because I'm just trying to talk to my friends, and you're stupid out there. And so they made this whole word salad out of it, like they did one of those animated things.
So
then
great.
They had me do a reading of the call.
Oh, the
verbatim.
transcript?
Yeah, the same transcript that they did. And then also Jason Reitman and I made a movie about texting and being on the phone in the
That's
theater.
such a
They
great
do
way
all
to do
these
it.
cool
Yeah.
little. They'll show little short films before the movie pertaining to the movie you're about to see.
Oh, I love
which
that.
is really cool. And they do the cool. They literally do a thing. They do a Princess Bride or a Breakfast Club talk along where people come.
You
and
did something like that.
I went to
didn't
the
you?
Clue one.
The Clue. And
like a
people
week and a half ago.
Literally recite the film. They're such fanatics for it, and it's one of those instances where you'll go see The Breakfast Club, and you're thinking, oh, I know some of the lines, and then as you watch it, you realize I know every.
You know every line. Yeah.
And when Rob went to that, and I was curious as to how it worked, and you'd never done it before, and you actually had a blast.
I ran in saying I'm either going to have the most miserable night of my life or the greatest night of my life, and it was really fun because
amazing.
You're around so many like-minded people, and they built in games like you ring the bell whenever the doorbell rings, you get a popper for the gunshots, and it was really, really cool. It's really going to a place to see a movie run by people who love to see movies.
Yeah, and they get the audience into it, and they do great. I mean, they show first run stuff, and then they'll do special. Like I remember one time in Austin for Father's Day, they showed Rocky, and they served meatball subs. So bring your dad.
That's cool.
Oh, that's
you're gonna
so
sit
cool.
And have a meatball sub, watch Rocky with your dad. It's
I went back.
Perfect.
I actually did go back, and maybe it's because of I kind of believe that you have certain areas of the world where if you're in a certain spot, bad things can happen again. And I had a momentary embarrassing moment when, because Patton mentioned the food, they serve food here. That's one of the nice things where you sit down, and it's really great food.
Yeah.
It's such great food that perhaps we shouldn't have eaten as much as we did with the choice of film that we went to see.
Really?
When because the way it works is they don't want to infringe upon your viewing experience, so they bring your food out, but they don't bust the tables until the food is until the movie is over. So we went to see Lone Survivor, and the food.
I'm sorry. No, stop. Why are you watching, Mike?
Sorry.
It's a movie about a army ranger basically surviving in the wilderness. And
Yes,
you're
it
like,
is.
I'm gonna need 4 plates of nachos to get through this. If I'm really gonna link to this experience, this guy. Wow, this guy's really fighting for his life. Hey, can you get more queso for my chips, please?
That's exactly. You were there.
Can I get those mozzarella sticks?
you were there. We were so, and there were really. It was a middle of the week screening. The movie had been out a while, and so thank God there were maybe 15 people in the theater. But I still was racked with embarrassment as they walked down and they saw the remnants of the
basket after basket,
the flatbread pizzas that we had
huge
ordered.
metal plates, the durable metal plates. There's another one, yeah,
with the baby. Mrs. O'Meara and I had not been out, and so to say, hey, let's get our eat on, and then they kind of go. They go along, and
this is obscene.
I know,
this is
it was
pornographic.
terrible.
What you're describing,
but his phone never went off.
Never went off.
Turn up number 6. Well, you know what, Rob?
Wahlberg's got to eat that rat for protein. To really that'll keep him going another day. Can I? Hey, I'm supposed to get 8 mozzarella sticks. I only got 7.
Well, I said to the guy at the Alamo,
and I'll do anything for food. I could eat 2 dozen eggs.
There we go. It was,
and on the way home, you got Chinese.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Stop. Wash it down with some fried rice.
Let me make sure that we plug your plug here. Tragedy plus Comedy Equals Time premieres April 6th at 10 p.m. On Comedy Central. And if you've never had the pleasure of seeing Patton do his stand-up, really fun. So much, and really one of the best in the country. And I've been a fan of yours for such a long time, and followed you because you have a lot of people that would love to get you on their show. We've tried to do it for a very, very long time, and because you're a local guy and you made some comments way back when about the show, it's been a situation where we followed you all these years, and really it's a lot of fun watching the different things you do because you are all over the place doing different projects.
I'm lucky to get to do I have the special coming out on the 6th, but then I don't know why you mentioned Tig Notaro earlier. I don't know if she's trending or something, but
no, I actually, because I know you're doing a benefit
I'm doing
with Tig, so I thought that would be a cheap way to get that in.
Yeah, well, that was on April 1st. I'm doing a thing called it has a weird name. It's Krullapalooza. No, it's not the movie Krull. I actually had people when I was president going, "Is this about the movie Krull? Because I'll go totally see that."
They were way into that.
It raises money for transgendered youth,
Oh,
teens
cool.
in LA, and the show it's me, Tig, Reggie Watts, and Zach Galifianakis at the Wiltern.
That's cool.
And one of the reasons I'm pushing it, I'm pushing it for kind of selfish reasons.
Okay.
Is, it's going to sell out, and I have the kind of I have very wonderful Facebook followers, but then they tend to fall asleep on things, and then they the days leading up, I'm going to get a lot of, hey, show's sold out. Is there any way you can get me in? And I got to go, well, it's a benefit show. I can't do comps. You realize, come on, man, I've been your fan for a long time. So I'm
stealing.
Just telling people, please, God, go to
Get on it.
crawlerpalooza.com and get the ticket so I don't get the 20 angry messages.
Right on.
Why didn't you tell me about this? I've been promoting it for a month, literally a month.
Where can they go to get the tickets?
Crawlerpalooza.com. They just KRULL Palooza.com. You can go to my Facebook page. There's a link to it. I'm just, please go buy your ticket so that I'm not being bothered by you 2 days before the show.
I'm working off memory here, and I think the first time I ever saw Zach Galifianakis was on, is it the Comedians of Comedy?
Was with me.
And you made that video.
Although leading up to us doing it, it was just him and I together, and we did a place in Baltimore, this little restaurant with like 80 people, just totally. Who's this weirdo? You know, like the biggest future comedy movie star, and there's people just trying to have my Crab Louie here. This guy's hobo's talking to me.
He's been. Let me tell you, you go back and look at the Comedians of Comedy, and it's a lot of behind-the-scenes photos of Patton and Zach Galifianakis, and Zach Galifianakis, of all the guys that you were touring with, scared the hell out of me. I said, this man ought to be institutionalized. He did a thing like where he's just hanging out and reaching down into his underwear, and it was a very strange. And I mean, it set the table for his future endeavors. I mean, he's been typecast. I mean, that's you look at him and he was doing all sorts of weird stuff.
The type of an underwear grabber?
Well,
or?
Did you get a sense that he was gonna, I mean, or did you think that maybe he would just, be living on the beach in a box or something like that?
He was one of those guys that he was hilarious from the second I saw him, and you just knew that he was gonna. There's certain people. Happen. It's like when I first met Jack Black years ago, and that was another guy that there was a place called the Highland Grounds in L.A., and I remember one afternoon they had a show there. This is in 1994. Me, Sarah Silverman, and Tenacious D, and it might have also been Bob Odenkirk and David Cross doing sketches in front of 15 indifferent people. Probably 8 of whom slammed their laptops closed to leak because I turned right a script. I'm the new Tarantino and these idiots. So it was just, so he was one of those guys who like, yeah, he's so brilliant. And I'm just glad that somebody, one of the reasons I did the Comedians of Comedy was I was frustrated with how Maria Bamford and Brian and Zach were not being showcased the way that we should be. So I was like, let's just go shoot our own thing. Mm-hmm. And then luckily, Todd Phillips came along and had the power to get he's in my movie. So, but he's typecast for now. He is an amazing actor. He's one of those guys that is going to win an Academy Award someday. Just people can't see it yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's truly amazing
for something dramatic too.
Yeah, and he, he's someone that when you go back, really, that was. I don't want to say that you discovered him, but you certainly gave. Was that the first significant exposure that he'd had? I mean, as far as something like that,
there was a lot.
He was on the
people
comedy club circuit, right?
Yeah, but there were a lot of people that were behind him. I was one of many, but I'm not the guy that discovered him. I was the guy. I was the guy that lucked out that he said, "Yeah, I'll do your tour." Right. That's what I was. I was lucky enough for him to go, yeah, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he has that. We'll talk about all the people that you've worked with.
What's happening? Are we having I'm sorry. Are we having a smash break right now?
we have to actually do this. We're one of those podcasts that has commercials.
Really?
So we have to take a break.
I thought we were having a smash mouth attack. Because I'm always ready for a smash mouth party.
That was the earlier segment.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
We're going to come back to Patton Oswalt right here on the Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome back to the show. Whoa. Hello, friends. Mike O'Mara here.
Mike.
I love my sleep number bed. I'm sorry. I'm feeding my family, gentlemen. Please. Not only do I love it, but Patton loves it too.
Patton does.
That's right.
Really love my sleep number bed.
This is true. This is one.
They're going to love this.
They're going to love it. You see,
each side of the sleep number bed uses air to support and cushion your entire body.
Honey, could you wait like 45 minutes to come to bed? I need some time alone with the sleep number. And this sleep number goes up to number 69. You know what I mean? We're selling so many beds right now.
We are.
Yeah, if we can just convince them of that. Anyway, it's clinically proven to relieve back pain, improve your sleep quality. I love my Sleep Number bed. You will too. The Sleep Number setting for me really is 65 right now. It is. Carla's is a 75, firmer than mine, believe it or not. Well, she's younger. Right now, save $400, the lowest price ever on the popular Sleep Number P5 bed.
What? How can they possibly afford to give it away? $400? How do they make money?
That is an incredible question, Patton. Perhaps you could come to the pit and we could discuss it further.
Find your Sleep Number setting today at any of the 425 Sleep Number stores nationwide. Find one near you by calling 800-511-0061. That number again is 800-511-0061. Don't forget to tell them that Mike O'Mara sent you, and we thank you in advance. We're here with Patton Oswalt, who will be debuting on Comedy Central 10 p.m. on April 6th. Tragedy plus comedy equals time. You are prolific. I mean, you generate a lot of material because you seem to be doing brand new stuff at least every couple of years. Is that accurate? I mean, you are
at this rate now. It's like every year and a half. I have a new hour, and it's not that I'm like I've got to write a new hour. I like doing stand up when I'm not. When I have free weeknights in LA, there's all these great rooms right now that. It's a weird thing right now in LA. There's the good and the bad is there's all these great rooms now on weeknights where you can go up and work out. Just really amazing spaces and amazing shows. The bad news is for someone my age, the wave of comedians coming up now, and there are kids now that are 17, 18 years old. They're starting so young. They're so freaking good, and it's a little depressing. Like in my wave that came up, there was the ratio of good to bad was there was a tiny core of good people, and then there was a lot of and now it's completely the opposite.
Why do you think they're so much better?
Because they've been exposed to so much stuff for so long, and they have better access to it on the internet. And
is there more anger? Do you think? Because I think that generates tremendous comedy.
I don't even know. No, you know what? That's to me, that's a myth. I don't think anger generates great comedy. I think enthusiasm for performing generates great comedy.
Okay.
In other words, these people will do comedy even if they're not being paid. And they all also realize that because all the network and studio stuff is collapsing, basically, that you're just free to do whatever the heck you want. And someone has to come to you. Like, in other words, there's a generation coming up that's where when I came up, there was still this, you've got to have 5 clean minutes, and you've got to get on the Tonight Show, and then even when the Tonight Show went away, you've still got to make it work for the networks and make them. And now they're all about you do your own thing, and they have to come to you on your terms. No one's going out pitching anymore. They're like, I'll do my own thing. I'll put it up for nothing, and you can come to me.
And they can, and everybody can see it. And that's the way it works
how they're
now.
making their deals. And so there's a lot of fearlessness and in other words, the people that are doing it for I just want a sitcom, I just want a movie career. So tell me when that happens.
Right.
They're not making it, but the people that are like, I just like doing this anyway.
Right.
The TV and movies is a bonus to me just shooting this stuff.
When I said anger, I thought maybe with all the knock on the millennials that you hear right now, that you've got these these younger people now with this generational attack, and you hear it everywhere. It's like they don't care about anything, they don't care, they don't vote anymore, they don't do anything. I would think that there would be a few people out there that would be filled with enough self-loathing that there would be really, really good material out there.
The millennials are aware way more than Gen X and way more than the baby boomers. They're way more aware that anyone knocking them are people that are angry that they're getting old.
Right.
That's people that are knocking millennials are so obviously they can't believe that they're not the young
they're not Gen X anymore.
Yeah, they're not Gen X or in their 40s and 50s, and especially has anyone aged worse than the baby boomers? Has anyone aged uglier, sadder, more dead? I have never seen anyone age more desperately than the.
No, Mike. Mike, you don't come back.
Really.
No, it's fine.
You can finish the show.
I can take the show over.
Just finish up without me, you bastard, movie man.
Well, you know what? I'm glad they're doing this.
Screw you, Patton.
We have a 13-year-old blogger that's going to take over for you. She's really excited.
Does voices?
She's funny. Dang funny.
Yeah, it's not bad enough. I'm fresh off my dinner with my 16-year-old daughter last night, which is just like, oh God, But Chili's was fantastic. Swear to God, that's where we went last night because they had, you know what they had? I swear to God, tribute to Larry King.
Yes.
This was Daddy Day, Daughter Day.
Oh, no.
I swear to God, we saw it. My wife and I saw it because I have gone, I am not exaggerating, I have gone to Chili's twice in 1 week because we left.
Well, because you
I
crave
live
quality.
in effing Manassas. That's why I live in Manassas. Where else am I going to go?
If you go to Chili's twice in a week, they should send a grief counselor to your house immediately. The minute, if you show up a second time, they should flag you. They should put a tag on your car and send, like, is there anything wrong? Are you okay? Let's look at your situation here. Let's just sit down. Let's talk to you.
I have a reason. May I state my reason?
Let's hear it.
We are leaving. I have a new baby, Patton. I'm 54 with an 8-month-old with an 8-month-old child.
Delightful.
And I just wanted to say. No, anyway, we go to Chili's and we're coming out, and I see on a little piece of paper,
kids eat free.
Tuesday night. No.
That's why
8 months.
But you see, but Oscar,
He's
that's
not
why
going to have the rack of ribs.
Someone passed you a piece of paper saying, "Fat people die young. Please don't die." Is that what they said? That's
exactly what it was.
Oscar, the reason the kids eat free was important. That's why he brought Carla the first time.
His wife?
Yes.
They have on the sign, it says it was, I don't know if it was exactly Daddy Day, Daughter Day, but it was something about take your daughter crafts. They'll have you get a picture, and they have crafts. It was for like little kids, and I thought it would be funny because my daughter's 16 and she gets the joke.
Sure.
So I called her and I said,
your kid can make you a heart stent before you have the baked potato.
Out of macaroni.
Out of macaroni. Make a little heart stent. There you go.
Stent. He picked the funny medical device. Do you see that? That's why he does what he does.
Yeah.
So
Stent's a good comedy word.
Stent. Stent. I was looking at that a couple of years ago. But Mr. O'Mara, your arteries are normal.
Hey, terrific.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye, everybody. Thank you very much.
And then right off to Chili's.
So called Elizabeth, and I said, Elizabeth, they have Daddy Day, Daughter Day. And I hear on the other end, I hear, oh, Dad. And I said, yeah, let's go. And she gets the joke. So she said, yeah, let's do it. So we show up, and as we're walking in, she said, if they're really having a Daddy Day, Daughter Day night at Chili's, let's pretend it's a surprise to us, Dad, so I'm not embarrassed. So we walk in, and there's a handwritten, what's that? Is it the whiteboard?
A whiteboard,
yeah.
There's a whiteboard up there, and a dry erase whiteboard, and it says something like, Daddy Day, Daughter Day. Hey, come on, Kaya. So I walk in, and it says that, and I look in, and I overdo it to the point where I embarrass Elizabeth, and I said, Daddy Day, Daughter Day. Hey, I'm here with my daughter. Isn't that great?
And it's a day.
And it's a day. And well, they didn't do anything. I was thinking that they might knock off a few dollars.
No
off the
crafts
bill.
at all?
No, well, there were, but they were like over where the little kids were.
A craft station.
It was.
Were there balloons?
It was wonderful. And then we sat down and we had a normal, fabulous meal. It was
What'd
lovely.
you have?
It was lovely, huh?
What'd you have?
Fajitas.
Of what variety?
Thank you. What?
What variety?
Chicken or steak?
Or shrimp?
I'm not comfortable talking about it.
Why?
I don't. I'm just very
all I remember is when
self-conscious.
I would drive around in high school, and you guys, when you would do low budget Jeopardy, you would have William Conrad come on and talk about all the food he was eating, and it was just.
How about Patton Oswalt? It's William Conrad. How about the fajita trio? This is Jake and the Fat Man. It's the trio, shrimp, beef, and chicken. That's right, she's a damn good waitress, and she's mine. William Conrad. That's going back a long way.
More sour cream, Mr. Cannon.
Yeah, thank you very much. And then you could bring in Bane, who would be the waiter, because I'm doing that. I'm obsessed with that one today.
Would you care for the volcano lava cake, Mr. O'Mara?
All right, enough.
I have a question for Patton.
Yes, go ahead.
Patton, what are your
You got bored with this.
your thoughts?
Wow.
Your thoughts on eating in bed?
What are you doing?
Is this kick my ass day? Is that what this is?
Every day.
I could not be more against it.
Against it.
Yeah, I'm against it.
Okay.
Look, I have enough eating problems as it is. So if the symbolism of I'm literally lying prone, but I'm shoving food into a horizontal esophagus.
Yeah.
That to me is just psychologically I've given up.
Don't think it would aid digestion?
No, are you kidding? You're saying, how about we just let this stuff sit at the top of my throat and rot, then in the morning.
Hold on,
I'm with you.
Hold on.
I'm with you.
I'd rather answer him in
Of course.
Okay, Pat, I'm glad you feel that way.
Here we go.
Something I've done for years. Something I probably did last weekend, as a matter of fact, when my wife came back from a winery and gave me a cheese plate. And it sat on my shelf in bed because we're moving and we don't have all our tables in the house right now, and so I ate it in bed. But
is it always just finger food?
Huh?
Is it always just finger food?
Now see, now you're showing off.
No,
now you're
there is
showing
one
off.
part.
Now you're showing off for Movie Boy, because the fact is that you know that I do that. You
Whether
know that
or
I've
not
eaten
Patton was here.
I told you I ate a steak one time in bed. I told you.
I literally want footage of Mike sitting in bed, eating a steak, and then I want to play a Sarah McLachlan song under it, and then just go, "Won't you please help?" Mike, many adults, grown adults, are eating in bed.
Yeah, that's me, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We'll take a break. Come right back. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show.
Oh, wait a minute.
I will tell you, I am feeling pretty good about myself during the show today.
You look good.
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah.
This segment is brought to you by Fanatics.com. We're talking about March Madness, and we're talking about Fanatics.com, where you can get all your official team gear. Jerseys, hats, hoodies, T-shirts, jackets, and pullovers. Every team, every size. Fanatics.com has the largest assortment anywhere from all of the 64 March Madness teams, pro teams, NASCAR, much, much more. Fanatics.com. While you're there, enter to win their $10,000 Fanatics.com shopping spree. All you have to do is put in your favorite gear. You put it on, take a selfie, upload it to Twitter, Instagram, or Fanatics.com, and tag it with hashtag #SelfieFanatics and @Fanatics. They will give
Right
you
now, 30% off Clemson autoerotic asphyxiation belts. Or any of your favorite team logos will be put on your personal autoerotic asphyxiation belt so that you can support your team while you're fill in the blank.
All right. I normally just read these, and it's so peaceful. That's Fanatics.com. Use our code TMOS for free shipping and no minimum. Fill out the brackets and look great. Shut up. And look great while you do it. We're a sports fan shop, Fanatics.com. We're joined by Patton Oswalt, who is going to be on Comedy Central, premiering April 6th at 10 p.m. Tragedy plus comedy equals time. I have to ask you, what is explain the title of the special?
Well, there's that famous Woody Allen quote, which is, comedy is just tragedy plus time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just wanted to do a variation on that because it is sort of, I'm doing it as a joke, but also it is sort of when you get to the end of your life, it's like, oh, all of that together was tragedy and comedy together. I just didn't know which was which till the very last second.
I am so looking forward to seeing this. And you talk a lot on your blog. You blog about Bill Hicks.
Yes.
And you actually, I've followed you for years,
Mm-hmm.
and I know you've mentioned it before, and I never got into watching some of his stuff until recently.
Yeah.
And the great unknown talents we have that are here just for the blink of an eye, passed away, unfortunately, in the 90s, I believe it was.
Yeah, in the early 90s.
Early 90s,
right?
pancreatic cancer.
Pancreatic cancer. And the thing about Bill Hicks that's very frustrating is, he opened a door that a lot of people went through. Like
Right.
a lot of the stuff that you enjoy today, a lot of the comedians that you see were, either influenced by or he helped pave the way for that. So I do think, and the same thing that I say in this thing that I wrote, where I look back at Lenny Bruce, and as much as I want to say, oh my God, this is so funny, or this is an influence on me, it's just I'm too late for it. It just doesn't, because I've seen the people that he influenced, so it doesn't have that impact. And I do worry that I don't even worry about it. I know this is a reality. There's probably a lot of millennials watch Bill Hicks and think, well, so what? Because they've seen even edgier stuff that but what you have to keep in context is if you were aware of the kind of comedy that was happening at the time in the 80s, very generic for ever props so that I can get the money. Like,
stunning to do something like that, because I would imagine it's a pretty significant little club of people that you see again and again and again, and and to do that you have to. I don't know. The word is brass. I mean, to be able to just have the balls to walk into a club where you've done this, and 14 other comedians know the same thing.
But even beyond the what other comedians think, I mean, just the ego aspect of it. Don't you want to make it on your own?
Absolutely.
Merits.
I mean, it's strange that he would
just
do
feels weird. So
has he ever? Well, of course he hasn't. I'm asking a question I probably already know the answer to. But has Dennis Leary ever? In any serious way had to address that? Because you don't hear about Bill Hicks.
Not as far as I know.
Wow.
But I mean, amongst people that matter, they know.
Right. Right.
You know,
It's sad. It's a sad situation.
It's a bummer.
If you go online, check out some Bill Hicks stuff. It's funny to watch. It's really he's got a great. Just a real edge, a legitimate edge, which is what I mean. He comes out when Patton mentioned the ad executives. There's one segment I watched where he comes out. He said, "If you're an advertising or marketing executive, any in the audience, please kill yourself." and it's nervous laughter from the beginning. Yeah. And when the nervous laughter dies down, he said, "No, I'm not joking here. I really want you to kill yourself."
Go kill yourself. No. And I know a lot of you are going, "Oh, he's making." No. I'm serious. Go kill yourself. And then he says, "Oh, a lot of you ad guys are going, he's going after that anti-ad guy niche. This is really smart. He's going after that demographic." And he's like, "Please kill yourself."
And he stays on it, and he stays on it, and he stays on it. And I think great comedians do that, where they will, you look back at a guy like Andy Kaufman who pushed the limits of what the audience was comfortable with. And I don't know if I'm alone in that, but that's the kind of stuff that makes me laugh when you're experiencing something that no one's ever done before, and it tests the boundaries of what the audience can handle.
Well, it's also that the comedian's having fun. Like, they shouldn't also the comedian be having fun and kind of making things scarier, interesting for himself, rather than just plowing through. Here comes the hour.
Speaking of the comedian having fun, I have to ask you this because I've also read some of your blogging, and you love doing it. You do tons of stand up. You do a lot in Los Angeles, but in many there seems to be a recurring theme about the lonely road and the hotel rooms and the fact that the airports and cabs and stuff. And now that you how old is your daughter now?
She is going to be 5 next month.
And you're into your 40s now, and you're saying it's just not what it used to be, right?
No, I mean, it's in a weird way, the sad irony of it, it's not the way it used to be because the audiences now are amazing. The people that do go to comedy clubs are connoisseurs, and they're there for the most part to see really good comedy. And a lot of the clubs that survived are great. And then also, I'm lucky enough that I get to do theater shows. It's just it's a combination of, I'm in my 40s and I have this daughter at home that I'm crazy about, and getting in the cab to the airport, to go through the line, to get on the plane, to get in another cab, to check into the hotel, I hate to sound like a Jackson Brown song, but sometimes it's not worth all that for the 1 hour I get to go up on stage.
I was thinking more Dan Fogelberg, maybe.
Met my old comedy at the grocery store. It would be Fogelberg if it was raining.
Yeah.
That's what makes it a Dan Fogelberg song.
Whenever people ask me about the road, I'm like, right now the road is way too much. It's too much Bob Seger and not enough Willie Nelson. Willie was happy on the road, and Bob Seger was just a nightmare. So I'm more in the Bob Seger phase. And I mean,
is it the responsibility of it? Is it because not only are you missing your 5-year-old, which is completely normal for a man in his 40s, but also, when you go out there, and I know you travel with your family sometimes, right?
If I go someplace like cool and fun, but I'm not going to go, we're going to Detroit. What's worse yet, actually, there's parts of Detroit that are actually nice outside. What I'm saying is, if I'm on a tour, I'm like, I'm going to be in Detroit one night, then I'm going to be in Minnesota. That you can't really make them go, on 3 plane rides and little scary puddle jumpers.
If you have your family with you, you're going to ask your fans, your hardcore fans, not to ask you to get high after the show.
No, exactly. However, if I go to a city like Chicago for the weekend, where all my in-laws are, where all her cousins that love her, or if I go up to Portland, I took her to Portland with me when I did Helium because it's one of the most kid-friendly cities on the planet is Portland. Or when I do the Bumbershoot Festival, I'll take her with me.
Portland, Oregon is one of the most kid-friendly?
Oh, my God, it's so much fun.
Is it really?
I swear to God.
I didn't know that.
It's all parents with kids, and it's all for kids.
And
Seattle, too, is just, you go to Bumbershoot, and she's walking, I'm pushing her around in her little... Actually, no, she doesn't even like the stroller, and we're walking around, and bands are playing, and she's looking at stuff, and that's
she's
great.
Adorable, and I love seeing your videos that you post. Go ahead.
I have a quick question. You mentioned this, your engagement with your Facebook followers, but then you look at your Twitter. In the past 5 years, as a just really an A-list celebrity, is it harder to engage with fans because they have such direct access to you? You have 1.65 million followers on Twitter.
How many?
1.65. The Mike O'Mara Show has just crested 9,000.
Oh.
Hi,
So
everybody. I'm Mike. We want to really welcome. Did you say how many?
1.65.
Hi. I really would love you to check out this
Million.
podcast, please. Thank you. Thank you. Very
In
much.
broad strokes, it's sort of a tie. But you got a really good general.
I mean, it depends on there are really smart people on Twitter. There are a lot of smart people on Twitter that didn't even start out as comedians and were tweeting stuff that was so funny, and people like me and other comedians were going, "Wow, this guy's great," and then they became comedians.
Oh wow.
So there's that, and also, I mean, if there's people, look, there's trolls that want attention, and all you do is just the worst thing that can happen to a troll is that no one pays attention to them.
Right. Oh, I fight that.
And you can see who the trolls are so easily now, and so if you never respond, they just get sad and go away. That's
Yeah.
I mean,
look at me knowingly.
Yeah.
Look at me knowingly. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's an Irish thing. It's an Irish thing. And how about my joy? How about because isn't there a certain level of joy of engaging a troll, an occasion? I mean, don't you get a little? Do you get a little satisfaction?
Early on, I did, but then I realized, oh no, the only person that's winning in this is them.
Sure. You're right.
So I just kind of, again, the worst thing a troll has is just indifference. That's their biggest fear.
He is younger than me. Okay, so
It's
when you're
just
giving me
something
these
on-
knowing,
We all are.
with everything he says, sometimes it's a little. I know I should learn. I should learn these lessons.
Mike will send out a
I
mass
should learn
text.
these lessons.
Please block at so and so.
Unfriend and block. Unfriend and block him.
I do. Well, but the thing about and we exist. I mean, it's Twitter and Facebook. But as far as Facebook is, the nice thing about someone that and I don't have 1 million, so I can selectively.
Yeah.
Well, I have the 5,000 friends, and I can replace them and replace them with newer, better people. That's what I like
now,
to do.
that said, Mike's Friendster page is blowing up. Crazy. Dude, he's the king of Friendster.
Do you ever see your social media interaction as a burden?
No, I mean, I just don't make it a burden. I only keep it fun. So I'm never on it like, I better get on here and start.
Right.
It's only for me to have fun. The minute that it turns into work, it will. If I make it like a job, then it won't be fun anyway, and no one would follow it. It's just me having fun.
Cool. Okay.
Has it changed the way you engage with your fans, though? It has to.
I mean,
right?
look, everything. By the way, when people keep asking, "Wow, does this change the way?" Yeah, because our society and our technology is constantly changing. It is always going to change anyway. So unless you're willing to just embrace that something that became the standard is nothing will ever stay the standard. It'll keep changing and keep evolving. So that's just how it goes. I mean, there are certain podcasts that when they started out, it was like, who cares about this podcast? And then they became the thing to go on. And then either they'll stay that way or they. But I'm just saying, like.
Well, no, I appreciate the compliment. Oh, I'm
everything
sorry.
changes.
Oh, okay. Was he talking about us?
He didn't want to embarrass you by mentioning you by name.
Oh, okay. That's the way I understand that.
By the way,
and your 6,000 followers.
The whole idea of somebody talking into a microphone into their laptop 5 years ago did not factor into the media landscape at all. If you
no
told,
one saw it coming, and the major broadcast outlets didn't see it coming.
But if you told some PR person, I need to go on this podcast, like, why? We need to get you on The View. We need to get you on the Today Show. And those are still viable, but everything changes. And there's something coming along that we can't even see yet that's going to change everything. We just don't know what it is yet.
Well, thank God for it, and thank God for having somebody like Oscar Santana to tell me, because really it was kicking and screaming. It was at the beginning because I'm an old radio guy, and that's as far as embracing that, and it's like anything else in life, if you keep your mind open to what's happening, you do that. That's why I think when you talk about the young guys coming up, the 17, 18-year-old comedians, I get a sense that there's not only a respect there, but there's also an acceptance that that's the way it works.
Exactly.
That makes us all better. And you have to have that attitude if you're going to grow.
Nothing's worse for a comedian than being the funniest guy in the room, because then you don't have to try.
Right.
So when I have people, what's amazing too is I have these people that open up for me or have opened up for me, and every single one of them ends up moving on and headlining and getting their own shows. So this guy, John Mulaney, used to open for me. Then he started writing on SNL. Now he's got his own sitcom. Then this guy, Kyle Kinane, opened for me. Now he's moved on, got his own thing. This guy, Ron Funches, now he's on The Kroll Show, starting to get cast everywhere. And this kid that just opened for me in Boston, named Mike Kaplan, M-Y-Q, Kaplan. He's also he's gotten he's going to be huge.
Oh, that's great.
And, you don't want to constantly because I just remember a lot of club owners back here would just say, "But that guy's an MC." You had originally employed him as an MC. He has moved on and gotten better.
Did you get a lot of it when you were coming up? Did you get
You're
a lot
an
of
MC.
Did you get the kindness that you're showing these guys, where you're not only showing them kindness at a comedy club, but you're talking about them on a show?
From certain people, yeah. But I mean, there was like Carlos Alazraki early on was super supportive of me, and people like that. But for all of I just saw a lot of people being kept down because a lot of club owners just wanted things to just stay the same. Because there were a lot of club owners that weren't in it for comedy. I just want to plug this thing in and then I sell drinks and it makes money. But they weren't interested in watching acts and watching people grow and developing. They just were. I remember a guy, I was in Baltimore one time and at a club, and Dave Chappelle, who he and I started together in D.C., he had moved to New York and blown up because he's Dave Chappelle. I remember Dave Chappelle going on stage at 14 and everyone just saying, "This guy's going to be huge."
Yeah.
He looked like a 30-year veteran when he started. That's how good he was.
Really?
So he moved to New York, and of course he became huge and was about to do his first special and had called. And I heard the two club owners talking. He's like, "Remember this kid Dave Chappelle?" Yeah. And he goes, "Yeah, he's like an MC down here." And the other club owner said, "Get this call from his management. He's getting ready for some special, so he wants to book the weekend. Wants us to give him $800 for the whole weekend to do these shows." And I mean, I used to pay this guy $25 a set. I'm supposed to shell out $800 for this guy, and because in their mind is, I paid you $20. That's what I should pay you.
That's
forever.
your rate.
And in my mind it was like, it's Dave Chappelle, you idiot! And by the way, you're getting him for $800. You should be losing your minds at the steal. He's offering to come in because he just wants to run his set.
But all they know is the numbers. They don't know the scene. They know what's going on.
Because again, that is it. They do not watch comedy. They don't know what's going on. They just sit back in their office and they listen for this through the wall. Woo! And if they hear that, they're like, "Well, he must be good." And that's why a lot of jugglers and magicians would do well, because they would go on stage and put a toilet seat in their head. The crowd would go, "Woo!" And the guy in his office counting up drinkers, he'd go, "Rebook that guy."
Good. With the comedy clubs kind of being weeded out over the years, have some of the guys that are more fans of the genres of comedy, have they risen to the top a little bit?
Absolutely. That's why. Thing. Oh, yeah. There's all these clubs now, like the Acme in Minneapolis and the Comedy Works in Denver, are run by fans, and they bring in the best. The Helium in Portland, amazing.
That's cool. We're going to continue to talk about, Pat will talk about movies, because Patton's been very, very busy, and we will come back with more and get his take on everything else before we get on out of here. We'll take a break. Be right back on the Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. You want to see a game or a concert? What is the toughest thing to deal with? Getting the best tickets at the best price. Problem solved with SeatGeek.com. SeatGeek.com, the best way for you to save money on all your game and concert tickets, and it's absolutely free. They will search all the major ticket sites, put them in one place, so you can shop for the best price all in one location, like Kayak or Orbitz for tickets. SeatGeek even rates the tickets so you can see the best value, a green dot for a great deal, a red dot for a bad one. Nobody else does that. SeatGeek has real photos from seat locations so you can see exactly what your view will be, and SeatGeek does it all with no extra fees. Start using the free service today and use our code TMOS to get $20 off your first purchase of $120 or more. Your ticket to every ticket at SeatGeek.com. We are joined by Patton Oswalt, who has been very, very generous with his time with us today. I've been trying to get you on the show for a very, very long time in this format where we could really just, sit down and talk to you. How do you like, you said, I'm not sure how many podcasts you do. There's certainly a lot of them out in Los Angeles right now.
I wish I had time to do more. There are so many great, just in my neighborhood, there's, obviously WTF with Marin, Joe Rogan's podcast, Who Charted with Kulop and Howard Kramer, the comedy Bang Bang. I wish I could do way more. The Scarborough Country.
Lots of, and they're all great. And,
You Made It Weird with Pete Holmes.
Now that one I have. Have you heard of that one, Oscar?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen it on the front page.
You listen to all of them, don't you?
I mean, the genre in itself has changed my life. So
right,
it's amazing how so many comedians initially, and Maron was one of the first, and so was this guy Jimmy Pardo. Jimmy Pardo has one of the best podcasts.
Yeah.
Never Not Funny. It's called Never Not Funny, and
super successful.
They felt like doing a podcast was okay. I've given up, and then they didn't. Then it became clear that no, there's actually a better way to do comedy and build fans, because now all these guys can sell out theaters because of their following, and it's open for any kind of comedy you want to do. Just like WTF and You Made It Weird, very loose, very improvisational. There's a fun train wreck aspect to it that makes it so much more lively. But then there's stuff like Welcome to Night Vale and the Pod F Tomcast and the Dana Gould Hour that are very produced, very scripted and slick, and are also amazing.
Yes.
And there's room for both of those.
Yeah,
which I think is great.
And what we do here, I think the niche that we have is because what I've done my whole life is, I did a radio show, and so we kind of format in that same kind of way, and it works for us.
Yeah.
And this is now, with the 80s and 90s when you had the Guy Talk formats where you had really talk radio about anything.
Yes.
And when that was destroyed by corporate radio, when they got rid of that and it all went right-wing talk or sports, this is it. And if you want to find any of the people that used to do this kind of stuff, this is where you find it.
Yep.
And I think it's great. I think it's great because it's just like television, where more and more and more choices every single day. And it's on demand.
When you want.
You get what you want, and you do what you want. I want to talk about movies. I thought you did an amazing job at the Independent Film Awards when you were on stage with that. And see, I like you.
Terrified.
You do edgy stuff, but I like it when you delve into old school. And let me tell you, the one that I unhinged my job, Patton's up. I think I talked about this yesterday when Pat was on stage with, "Hey, it's Bruce Stern." And you went after Bruce Stern, and you did the traditional old school material, the old stuff. And I went back and watched it like 5 different times when you gave him the line about, what was like making Nebraska. And I'm not talking about the movie, I'm talking about the state. I love that. That is just the traditional stuff that I love so much.
We also spotlighted that you were angry at the time that no one was touching the Mia Farrow situation.
Right.
And you did that perfect joke about the One to Watch award presented by Mia Farrow. And it really embraced it and slapped it around.
This might be a silly question.
So great.
Any blowback on that? Because Woody is so
in
this weird space in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And you live in that world. I'm just curious whether you got any blowback about making a Woody Allen joke.
Didn't get any blowback. I got a couple. There were a couple of people on. Weirdly enough, I got blowback from people on Facebook and on Twitter about. Going after Bruce Dern like that. You're such a dick.
Oh no!
That's
and I was
really?
like,
No.
Wait, what? Because we had a drink together at the after party, and he was laughing his ass off. So, did you really think? It's like again.
He took his hearing aid out and waved it at you. He was having fun.
He loved it. And by the way, he's Bruce Dern. He doesn't. Who cares if that guy? And I said it on stage. 70s cinema wouldn't have happened without that guy.
True.
Well, I guess Mr. Oswalt wants to get a one-way ticket back to Sterling, Virginia. That's what he wants.
That's a real sad song. Too bad sad songs ain't selling this year.
I guess Mr. Gatsby wants to go into town, doesn't he?
That's the only Bruce Dern I do.
Or isn't that right, Mr. Gatsby? Yes, sir.
You gotta see King of Marvin Gardens and The Driver and Silent Running and Drive. He said Drive. He said he is so amazing in those. So all that stuff.
The idea of being on stage.
The Laughing Policeman. He's incredible in.
I have not seen that one.
Oh my God.
The idea of being on stage, and you've done just thousands of hours of stand-up, but when they tap you to stand in front of the elite of Hollywood, is it a pucker factor when you get up there? Because I would imagine no matter who you are, it's got to be extraordinarily difficult.
I had the double whammy of, there's Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie
that's the one
frowning at me.
Yeah, they scowl.
And then, but then also there's like...
they scowl.
Yeah, but then there's John Waters sitting there. So...
wonderful tribute you paid to him.
Because I'm also a film buff. Nicole Holofcener's in the audience. I love her. All these writers and directors that I really means a lot to me, and I don't want to be lame in front of people whose work I respect.
John Waters, by the way, looked incredible.
And
I mean,
he
for
was
as long as he's
so-
been in the game.
He was so nice, and he came backstage and we talked, and I think he was genuinely touched that I was such a deep fan of. I mean, I've seen everything he's made, all the way back to Roman Candles and Multiple Maniacs, and
You're a
all
movie
of his
buff. I mean, you're a
early,
huge
yeah.
movie buff.
But
for
I
him.
mean, especially for him, because I was glad that I was able to put into context that, you know, whenever you think you're being edgy and risk taking, just think about what that guy did in 1964.
Oh, God.
You know, like that's when
Can't
he
believe it's
started, and he came out of the gate guns blazing. So just look at him and man up. So that was and also the fact that I even knew about his first movie and the details of making it and all that stuff.
You could see
really
that he
was
appreciated
like,
the homage to him when you were up there on stage.
But I was also able to thank him because he's another example of, by the way, he's a great example of how to age gracefully in this business, which is that for a long time he was very shocking and was breaking barriers. And then there was this great documentary called Midnight Movies. And he said something really interesting. He goes, everything, and he's talking about not just his movies like Pink Flamingos, but also Eraserhead, El Topo, Rocky Horror Picture Show, The Harder They Come. He's saying everything that we did that was boundary busting and got us the ratings that we can only be shown at midnight, everything that we did, they are now throwaway jokes in PG-13 comedies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, like Divine eating a turd at the end of Pink Flamingos, and he goes, the Austin Powers sequel begins with him drinking a mug of feces as a ha-ha, you know, and so for me to keep going that I'm this, he goes, I did my job, and now he's like America's beloved uncle, where he now is trumpeting other people, like, find this writer, find this artist. You know, like
That's
he's
so cool.
trying to promote other things. And I thank him for like you pointing me in the direction of writers like Jimmy McDonough and Jonathan Luttrell and stuff like that. So thank you. Like,
are you going to continue to involve yourself in that world? Is it going to be more stand-up, or are you going to be doing I've heard that you do script doctoring. Do you do your own writing? Are there Patton Oswalt screenplays or projects that you're creating yourself? I mean, I'm curious because I don't know that.
I've sold a few screenplays in my time. They've never been made, and I got really paranoid, like, God, they paid me all this money and they're not going to make it. And all my friends that are screenwriters, like, I've been paid for 10 movies that'll never get made. Don't worry about it. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah.
And so you can't invest a lot of emotion into it, I would imagine, right?
You put your work into it and you do well. And then and ironically enough, you put all your blood and sweat and tears into a script that doesn't get made, but then it gets passed around and they go, hey, he'd be good to punch up our movie. Yeah. And then they bring you in to punch up this terrible movie that's not working.
So is there anything, would the possibility ever exist that you would sell something? It would float around and then it would, does that happen?
Well, I just got told that a script that I sold a while ago to New Line, they've assigned 2 new writers to it to maybe make it doable, but we'll see.
I've got an idea that you're the writer. I'm going to give you this idea.
You're giving this to him.
It takes place. It's the Holocaust, and it's the Holocaust, and there's a clown. There's a clown, and the clown makes the children laugh. And it's
at least you're not doing your Blues Brothers versus the Terminator idea. Which, if I hear that one more time, I'm going to punch you in the face.
I liked it.
I'm tired of it.
All right. Thanks for big timing me. I appreciate it. We'll take a break and come back with the Magic Audio Vault. We're with Patton Oswalt on the Mike O'Mara Show.
One of the things, comedy.
We're actually.
That's okay, no worries.
Yeah, we do it all in one shot, so you can go
I'll tell
home.
you afterward.
All right. Welcome. It's all right. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. It's our show. Let me get the sponsor out of the way here.
Oh, God.
FanDuel.
There we go.
It's Comic Book Day. FanDuel. Get ready, America. Baseball season is here. Opening day is next week. 162 games in a season. Too much for some people to play fantasy sports.
It is. It's a big undertaking.
But you can do one-day fantasy leagues with FanDuel.com. There is no season-long commitment, no upfront fees. Play every day or any day, all up to you. Leagues start at just $1, and you can win real money with immediate cash payouts. Over 245,000 people have also won big money on FanDuel. So check it out. Go to FanDuel.com. Click on the microphone in the upper right-hand corner. Use the code TMOS to sign up. Plus, to get started, FanDuel will match every dollar you deposit, dollar for dollar, up to $200.
Done and done.
Hurry, the offer ends Friday. To sign up today, remember, use our code TMOS, the leader in one-day fantasy baseball, FanDuel.com.
Remember FanDuel's motto, going outside's for losers.
We call that another make good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Patton Oswalt. His special Tragedy Plus Comedy Equals Time premieres April 6th at 10 p.m. on Comedy Central. And if you don't know Patton's stand-up, check him out on Comedy Central. It's fantastic. And, your movie career has you've had a significant acting career as well.
I've been very lucky.
You've been incredibly in some wonderful, wonderful stuff, including your starring vehicle, which was Big Fan, which I thought was, you brought...
you just said starring vehicle. Yeah, that really spun me into the stratosphere. The merchandising and the action figures.
I have the doll, yeah.
I have the Philadelphia Eagles jersey.
The NES game.
I have...
NES.
You were... I thought that was fantastic.
Thanks,
I loved
man.
you
No,
in
that was that movie was amazing. I could not have been luckier that the fact that Robert Siegel, considered me for that. A lot. I found out afterward. Thank God they didn't tell me beforehand. A lot of people wanted that role, and he put his heels in and got me. Wanted me. So I was like, well, I can't believe you should have gone with those other people.
It's such a commentary on talk sports radio. I mean, it really was. I thought it was accurate the way it was depicted in that, and really, I loved it. It was fantastic.
Well, it came from he lists the writer and director Robert Siegel, who wrote The Wrestler and was the editor of The Onion for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
He would listen to sports radio constantly and would wonder about the lives of these people after they hung up. Like, then what happens?
Right.
And that's where that came from.
And it's
so
scary.
It felt it's
scary. It's like when I did the morning show back in the day, and we'd go into the parking lot at WAVA, and one morning it was like a Chevy Caprice Classic in pitch dark, and all I saw was the glow of a cigarette. And I said,
what?
That's a fan, and I'm going to die. I'm going to die right here. I'm going to die right now.
Really?
I know the conversation only happened a couple of times, but people get invested in this type of thing.
That whole talk radio thing up on the roof, right? At the end with the... Hey, bang.
And I'd scare them away by going, you cannot come into our studio. You can't do that. Let's open up the magic audio vault.
That movie's not coming out.
Rob Spiewak, get to the audio vault for Patton.
You know what? We talked about our one affiliate in Iowa, and I want you to know, Mike, there is a Senate seat open in Iowa.
Okay.
Whoa.
And an ad is running that I think if I might just move there just so I can vote for this lady. Her name is Joni Ernst.
I'm Joni Ernst. I grew up castrating hogs on an Iowa farm. So when I get to Washington, I'll know how to cut pork.
Joni Ernst, mother, soldier, conservative.
It's a real ad.
Taught us to live within our means. It's time to force Washington to do the same.
I like the deliverance music in the background, too. I think it's a nice touch. We spoke to one of her constituents.
Come on, squeal! Squeal!
I don't think, has there ever been the word castrating in a political ad?
With Biden.
Not.
With Joe Biden, I think there was. But anyway, so if you're in Iowa, get out and vote often.
Everyone else is like rock hard right now, right?
It's not just you.
Okay.
It's not just you.
Good.
But we can cure that with 2 words. Nancy Grace.
Yay.
When she grabs onto something and she doesn't let go.
I put this up. I know what you're about to play.
Yeah.
How does she have a job?
I know.
With adults. Listen to this. Wait till you hear this clip. I know exactly what you're about to play.
I was talking to my wife this morning. I played this for Carrie. I said, this sounds like one of your hen friends from the elementary school after a glass of wine.
Okay.
This is
Listen
talking
to
about
this.
the Oscar Pistorius case.
And by the way, I'm actually, it's too bad there's not visual in this because you see the anchor that she's talking to. She's on a remote.
Right.
And he is openly just rolling his eyes like, what is...
Yeah, he's not even hiding it.
And I'm amazed that none of the anchors... Well, the anchor at the end also kind of slaps her down a little bit, but in a very nice way. But I'm amazed no one just goes, what you... I don't want to be on shows with you anymore. I'm not doing this. I'm leaving.
Here's Nancy Grace is analyzing the case.
Somehow using his cell phone at 1:48 in the morning. Why is that important?
Look for porn, Dan. Porn.
Well, okay. If it, whatever it was for, though, he was claiming that they were asleep in bed at 10 p.m. that night.
Dan, Nancy, we thank you both.
I noticed neither of you want to touch it with a 10-foot pole that he was up trolling the internet for porn just before he kills her, but I'll say that for another day.
Actually, Nancy, we just have to get to the weather. So, Ginger, speaking of,
Happy to break that up. Yeah, let's go ahead and start with a good look at Panama City.
They literally, by the way, did you notice all their tone? Their tone is literally the way you would, like, when there was a crazy guy at a bus stop.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And then you're like, oh, well, let's all, just waiting for the bus there, sir.
You know, it's the 12...
And she's going...
Porn, Dad.
But it's all porn. All the snow that's coming down is porn. That's God's semen. Okay, well, we're just trying to get on the bus, sir. And, like, they literally, she's a crazy person at a bus stop.
There is a group on the YouTube.
It's 12 years of Tot Mom. That's why, that coverage where every single night she was allowed to get away with that, so she can do whatever she wants.
There's a group on the YouTube. They're called Schmo Yoho, and what they do is they take songs that are in a major key and re-record them in a minor key, taking a happy song and making it sad.
Oh,
so if you take the Pharrell song Happy, which is a great happy song, recorded in F major.
Does your daughter like that song?
Loves it.
Yeah.
Although her big one is, of course, Let It Go from Frozen.
Yeah,
I've seen Frozen in theaters 5 times.
You're a good father.
Really?
You're a good father.
When I was
Good
out.
for daddy.
Can we go see Frozen?
I love that. I love that.
So if you move Happy from major to minor, it sounds like this.
Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
Not as happy.
It's still beautiful, though.
It is. It's a great melody.
There are goth bands that have been trying to capture that their whole careers and haven't even come close.
Now,
right now, Morrissey is slapping himself in the forehead. Oh, it's right there.
It was there the whole time.
Yeah. By the way, have you found someone? I'm sure you guys have played this on the show. Dolly Parton's song Jolene.
Oh, if you slow it down. Yeah, we have played that,
It's still
right?
gorgeous. It's
But
still
it's
amazing, but
like
it's so
ethereal
haunting
and weird. Yeah.
It's beautiful. And then also someone took a Justin Bieber song and slowed it down 800 times, and it becomes this gorgeous, like, trance core. Like, you would almost play it in the background at a party. It's
I got to
amazing.
find it. I'll find that for you.
Just write Justin Bieber slowed down. It's amazing.
Jolene, Jolene,
No, it's-
Jolene, Jolene.
No, it's not. It's
I'm
not.
sorry. I was just trying to do it.
Sounds like a weird lumberjack song. What are you? Gotta go cut those redwoods, Jolene. Grab a saw.
Load 16 tons.
Yeah,
body
exactly.
Again. Another day over and deeper than dead.
All right, Mike, that's your magic audio.
Oh my God, are we done yet?
We are done.
We're done now?
Have a great Wednesday, everybody.
That is the audio vaults. Man, it went too fast.
It did. Always does.
How many more?
That's a bummer. We're done? We are done.
Let me tell you, the reason Patton is here is this is Patton's hometown, right outside of Washington, D.C.
Yep.
That's why we were lucky enough to get him. You're on to the next big gig. And, of course, don't forget Tragedy Plus Comedy Equals Time. That is April 6th, 10 p.m. on Comedy Central. I am not just blowing smoke, but I've had the pleasure of meeting your folks and seeing you here a couple of times in D.C. You've been always so very nice to me, and I really do appreciate that. I'm a huge fan of yours, and I want to see you, do the Academy Awards, and not as an MC, taking home one of those statues, baby.
Here. Best catering.
Patton, thank you very much, and thanks for joining us on the show. That's it. We got to get out of here. For all technical questions for the Mike O'Mara Show, contact our man Ponyboy at MikeO'MaraShow.com. All correspondence for our show can be sent to TMOS, Box 2796, Leesburg, Virginia 20177. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Ciao, ciao.
Wait, don't go. I need to tell you that MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon is perfect for all your online shopping needs. Shop the best way. Shop Amazon. And please go through our website. Always open at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.